Welcome to Thriver TV, the place to break free from narcissistic abuse with quantum tools and understandings. And before I get started today, I just want to share with you an exciting announcement, which is the launching of MTE Instagram. It's so fun. And as you may know, I just got back from New Zealand with my dear friend Simone Waddell. And neither of us had ever been to NZ before, so thank you, darling Kiwis. It was awesome, and next time I'm going to endeavour to visit many more of you. So on my new Instagram, I'm going to be sharing personal stuff and memes, quotes and videos and so much more. So if you're on Instagram, connect in with me, link in. I'd really love that. All right, so on to today's Thriver TV episode, and I've previously shared with you how to trust again and heal after narcissistic abuse, but in this one I want to talk about how to open your heart in ways that make you available for love relationships. That's what specifically today's episode's about. It's about how to find love again with an open heart without being susceptible to damage and trauma and abuse. So there's 4 steps I want to share with you regarding how to achieve that. The first one is step 1, which is practice love everywhere. And if we take out the W of everywhere, you're left with 2 words, which are every here. Love starts at home, and your heart can only be genuinely open to others in life if it's open to yourself. And if you create that as a practice right here, right now. Every here is first of all between you and you. So please ask yourself this question. Are you your best lover and supporter? When you do something that you don't consider is your highest and best self, do you ignore and bury your feelings or set up defenses around how you feel? Or do you turn lovingly inwards with the words of love and encouragement to heal your heart so that it can stay open? Do you use words that you would use with a child who you adore? I promise you that our lack of consciousness, which is the times when we feel like we've really screwed up, are not coming from an adult in a mature identity. They come from the fractures that we are hopefully in the process of healing from our childhood. Until these fractures are integrated, we're going to keep living them over and over again. And we cannot berate, criticize, and abuse ourselves into shape. We only make matters worse with doing that stuff. If your inner dialogue is terrible, you will not have your heart open to yourself, and you won't be real with yourself. And other people will not have their hearts open to you either, which means you're going to be doing relationships on a superficial and a closed heart level where love can't flow. So this point is so important to understand. It's crucial. It's step number 1. Okay, so on to step number 2. Recognize your love pattern. To have a healthy, open heart, we need to take it into waters that are not treacherous. Ones which would be ones where we're simply unconsciously repeating our love patterns only to get our hearts beaten up over and over again. This is something yet you need to get very clear about. What is your painful love pattern? Is it partners that cheat or don't commit? Is your pattern people who treat you as irrelevant, unimportant and invisible? Is your pattern people who enmesh with you, control you and monopolize your life? Is it people who criticize and abuse you? Okay, so to establish this, and this is an exercise that you'll need to stop and start and go back and, get the details and do it step by step. We're not going to do it as we do the video because the video would be too long. So to start this off, I want you to get out your journal and connect with yourself and write down all the names of your previous love partners. And then you're going to write underneath their names the painful things that you experienced in these relationships. Then you're going to go through all your relationships, circle all the common denominators regarding what hurt you, and then you write in order the most prolific of these, the things that appear as the pattern the most. And this is really great because we're starting to lift the veil of unconsciousness, which means subconsciously, without realizing it, repeating the same patterns, to becoming conscious, which means taking our power back and changing our patterns by changing the only person that we've got the power to change, which is ourselves. That's step number 2. So on to step number 3. Step number 3 is work at healing your love patterns and also graduating beyond the painful love pattern. And to do this, I want you to close your eyes and you're going to fully feel into the story of my painful love patterns. And know that you're now in the driver's seat because you've brought the power back to yourself, which is where it needs to be if you want to be the master of your life. So for example, when you think about partners who cheated on you, go back through scenes when you found out about it. And if your love pattern was about being criticized and condemned, then you go back through scenes of when this happened to you. Connecting to how it feels in your body and writing down some descriptive words of how you felt and what it was like for you. And make sure that you're really present with yourself with love and encouragement and support as you do this, knowing you're doing this to unearth and heal what is that you need to heal. When you're doing it, really see it in your mind's eye and take note of how your body reacts to these memories. So for each pattern, you are going to really sink into the thoughts and the feelings about it and then rate it as a rating out of 10. So the most painful patterns could be a 10 out of 10. And the ones that feel benign to you now, maybe a 0, or maybe they're very low, they're just a 1. And now here is the really important thing. The love patterns that you still have emotional charges on, you've got to be really honest. This is not just about saying, oh, I'm over that, I've decided I'm over that. No, what does your body say? Get really real in order to heal. So if you've still got emotional charges on something, this is all about unfinished emotional business. The traumas we have that have not yet been integrated and healed will keep appearing in our life no matter how much we hate them and try to avoid them. So for example, we will get with somebody who appears monogamous, or we will make excuses for their behaviour, just as I discussed with you very recently in a Thriver TV. And our inner identity, who has the traumatised, painful inner beliefs of the people who I love abandon me and betray me with other people, are still going to be like heat-seeking missiles that take us on trajectories that will exactly match the painful inner identity beliefs. And this is why it is so, so important. If we've still got resentment, anger, pain, despair, grief, feelings of loss, or even confusion, any unresolved painful feelings at all about something to do with love, to go on a relationship fast to heal ourselves so that we can show up from the inner container that is no longer on this program. And that's vital so that we can choose healthy people and not have tolerance to warning signs that are not a match for the new trajectory that we want to live on. And also so that we will know that if this stuff starts happening, we're going to lay boundaries. We can walk away. This time we're not going to stay, roll around with it and try to change other people like we did in the past. In the past, we tried to change them to heal the inner program, but we hadn't yet healed ourselves. And of course, they didn't heal it for us. Instead, they ripped open these wounds and smashed them harder because they were never meant to heal these wounds. We are. People ask all the time, how do I know I'm healed? The answer is this. When you can't access any emotional, painful energy on that topic, you've healed it. But please know this is different from a soul graduation. And I want you to think about this question. How do I know I've graduated beyond my previous painful love pattern? Meaning that it doesn't have to come into my life anymore. A soul graduation only comes after an opportunity for a soul graduation only comes after no emotional charge is left, or when one's low enough on trauma to allow consciousness to emerge where the previous trauma was, and also when we're personally invested in our self-development enough to be conscious. We've come out of the trance. We know when we've graduated, when we can walk in real time a completely different path in the face of the program. It's when we go somewhere that we've never been able to go before. So to use the example of being criticized mercilessly, if a red flag comes, we question and confront. And if something still feels off after laying a boundary, we detach, we leave the potential relationship alone. This time we don't stay connected. We honor ourselves, we move on. I remember years ago, I met a guy who was really cute. He was very attractive and he matched who I was looking for in many ways. Details of his past, however, emerged that were totally out of alignment with my life values. And when I questioned him, he refused to discuss it and he shut down. The old me would have made excuses and been in that whole scarcity thing of, oh no, I may not get this opportunity again. However, the new me stated my boundary, which was the necessity to have an open, honest discussion with him about this matter, which he again refused to meet. So I promptly broke the relationship off. The new me was beyond excited about recognizing my incredible new graduation, and I was overjoyed at having achieved it. It's so important to understand in your journey of going forward and opening your heart to love and being willing to receive love in your life that you will possibly need to graduate. You need to be open to opportunities and experience them and be able to be your best lover, supporter, healer, and generator of your life, no matter what you come up against. And if you're not prepared to experience your pattern and do it differently, you're either going to self-abandon and experience your old pattern and not do it differently, or you will never meet anyone at all to even try this out with. Because if you're not open to the full range of the experience, then you've created a tiny little gap for the experience you want to get through. And usually that's nowhere near enough. You have to be willing. It's like you've got to be willing to lose it all to get it all. You've got to be willing to experience it all to get it all. So the deal is heal the traumas that are not allowing you to be that open. And if you don't know how to, please check out the NARP program. That's the way to do it, so that you can become open and radiant and be prepared to take your old pattern on. And please do not do this mistake, which is huge, which is do it differently, but then feel incensed and angry and judgmental about coming across another one of these people, whatever your pattern is, and, you know, ring or text a girlfriend and say, oh God, they're all this and they're all that. Okay, you need to be like I was and how thrivers in this community are. Rejoice at your graduation and thank this aid, the angel in disguise posing as a whatever they were, who was a gift from heaven, truly a perfect and healing part of your journey. Then you're going to break through knowing your heart can be open with you being the powerful steward of it. Graduations are powerful. And this is what they communicate to the almighty mechanics of life. He or she just graduated, so there's no need again for that lesson. He or she passed that level of consciousness. We only get there with willingness, consciousness, and gratitude. There's no other way to do it. So step 4, heal whatever is keeping your heart closed. I want you to try this exercise. It's a really cool one. Sit down with your journal, close your eyes, imagine having your heart wide open, glowing out love and broadcasting that out into the ethers to attract potential love partners. And then imagine them coming towards you and you're going through a screening process, meeting and connecting with people, dating and enjoying the company of the opposite sex, or of course the same sex if you're gay, and feeling into who may or may not be a compatible match for you. All right, so when you really tap into that, you might start bristling in resistance. And then you might say to yourself, Melanie, I hope you are not telling me to internet date because I'm so never doing that. And you're right, I am. I unashamedly am. And the reason I am is because most of the people in this community are not in their early 20s and down the public groups of people meeting people. And I'm not saying you're going to meet your man or your lady from internet dating, but you probably will if you do. But what I will say is it puts you onto a platform where people are looking for love partners and where you can date. I personally loved dating when I learnt to thrive and have no expectations like, oh my God, if he or she is not the one. Well, I didn't go dating with she, but if he, oh my God, if he is not the one, it wouldn't matter if I did, but I didn't. Oh my God, if he's not the one, I'll hate it and I don't want to do this anymore. Instead, I treated the experience as a brilliant growth opportunity. It surfaced for me many triggers to heal. It allowed me to step up and honor my boundaries. It allowed me to learn to connect with men again. And it absolutely supplied me with a loving and caring partner. I get really frustrated when people say to me, which dating site did you get on? Because that one obviously works. It had nothing to do with the dating site I was on. So please, people, do not ask me in comments which one it was. It had to do with attitude, energy, and self-work. And I also feel terribly sorry for people who say things like, men or women can scope people on internet dating and can gain information and work out exactly what to say to hook them in through internet dating. Yeah, they can, and so can the guy you work with or the woman that your family or friends know that introduce you to them, or the person that you meet anywhere, anyhow, who you start connecting with, because let's face it, people get to know you. That's what relationships are all about. And the thing is, so what if they know things about you? Because if you're in your body, being authentic, backing yourself, healing your unhealed parts and being true to you, they can't hook you in. I went on dates with narcs, absolutely, when I was dating, when I was an empowered, thriving dater. And I was always amused how at the end of the date, when they tried for a second date, when I said, no, thank you, they would say, actually, I didn't think we were compatible. And, you know, I was just saying it because, you know, I thought maybe we could be friends. Like, I'm not interested in you in any other way. Yeah, of course I said that. I didn't go home disappointed at all after those experiences. Rather, I was punching the air at the incredible experience my soul had brought me to make absolutely 100% sure that I'd got it. That I wasn't into love bombing anymore or grandstanding or rubbish. That it just didn't attract me at all. And in no way after those sorts of evenings did I turn it into some poor me narrative, which is what so many unhealed people do when dating. And believe me, I understand it because I used to do all of that. You know, say things like, oh my God, narcissists are everywhere. There's no good men in the world. All the good ones are taken. Why am I still attracting narcissists? You know, all of that kind of crap. Rather, I went home, celebrated my graduation and thought I'm just another step closer to my goal and I'm getting so empowered and in my boundary function. This is awesome. Because please know life is working for you and not to you. It is always perfect. It's not about what comes in. It's about who you're going to be within that experience. So, what is it that is not allowing you to open up your heart and energy to possibility, to dating, to experiencing and welcoming many new suitors or possible ladies into your experience to explore and grow yourself in the process? And if you're not open on that level, what a waste of an incredible human experience if you aren't. So what are your limiting beliefs? Do you believe Mr. or Mrs. Right should just enter your experience without you having to go through any of that? Are you scared that somebody who isn't right for you will just remind you of how much you're missing your ex? If that's the case, quit dating and detox from your ex properly, for goodness sake. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to anybody if you don't. So, if you clean up all of the fears that are not allowing you to be open and magnetic and expanded with your heart, and the ones that are stopping you from opening your energetic door wide with fascination, joy, and an open heart with no attachment to outcomes, simply loving the growth, well, that means that you're going to have to release your traumas. That's really, really important. And when you get to that level, and once your graduations start coming in and they start being accomplished, real love is not far behind that, I promise you. So here's the biggest takeaway, I believe, right here. When you love the process of being involved in everything that opening your heart entails, especially the challenging and triggering experiences, and putting yourself in them, then real, genuine, unconditional love will find you. It's inevitable. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if it deeply resonates with you, you can come on a journey with me to detox your previous love traumas and patterns and create a whole bunch of healthy new ones by signing up to my free 16-day recovery course, which includes an invitation to a healing workshop with me, a set of ebooks, and lots more. So to access these, just click the link at the top right of this video. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and you're going to get notified as soon as each new one is released. So until next time, keep smiling, keep healing, and keep thriving, because there's nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.